Hi, everybody. I'm sorry, I'm trying to set my cell phone down here. Uh, um, you know, there we go. I'm wearing my headset just because I want to try something real quick. But I'm on my cell phone again. Uh, I just wanted to get on here and wish everybody a happy Labor Day 2018 for starters. And then I just wanted to also say, you know, um, do a little bit more of a plug for meeting us this coming weekend on September 8 and 9 at the Ohio Renaissance Festival. Tony and I will be in costume. I'm going to be extremely hard to miss because I'm going to be wearing, my Plague Doctor mask, the metal one that I showed you in that one video. Uh, and if you show up in costume, by the way, and I can't remember if I mentioned this in the last video or not, but if you do show up in costume at the festival, it's $15.72, probably plus tax, to get in. Uh, Definitely worth it because the normal price I think is like $25 or something. So it's a big difference. In fact, I think that's about the same price it was when I first started going there. 20 years ago. So you know, hey, save you some money. Have some fun. This coming weekend. You know, I did also want to mention that a lot of the stuff there is cash only. I know I mentioned the fact that the food and drink vendors are cash only. I know I've mentioned that previously. If you do meet us there, and this is something I probably didn't mention before, but I want to mention now, the parking, there is a fee for parking. It's $5, and that is cash only. Tony and I are going to try to get there early. The park is open from 10:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and we're going to try to get there well before 10:30 because if you get there before 10:30 and you actually, are there waiting to get in, they actually do a little show outside of the entry gate where like the queen arrives into town on her progress. And it was the stuff they used to do back in the day. It's what we Americans would call going on vacation. The queen or king back in the day would basically go on vacation and get out of London for a few months, and then they'd come back and hang out in London or whatever again and what have you. But they'd get out of London for a few months, and just go on vacation and check on the countryside and whatever, make sure everything's okay. So that's basically what this is you know Queen Elizabeth I is on progress to check out her domain. Actually, they don't look like this anymore, but this is one of the actual uh, things for the show. This is from 2013, so this is a 5-year old, you know, thing for them. And, it's like they have, you can see on here, actually different, you know, things for the festival. The actual event that today is the Friends and Family Weekend. That one is the same every year for Labor Day weekend. It goes the 3 days, the Saturday, the Sunday, and Labor Day Monday. It's the Friends and Family Weekend. That one is buy one get one free. Uh, you know, so if you want to ever like next year when Labor Day rolls around, if you they're open that weekend, so if you want to get somebody in for free, I would go Labor Day weekend. Uh, let's see, 5 years ago, the weekend we were going is Irish Festival weekend. The weekend after that was Pirates weekend. Uh, July. I don't know why I'm saying July. July ended like 2 months ago. September the 21st and 22nd of 2013 was the the Barbarian Invasion weekend, which was, the Viking weekend, basically. Let's see. September 28, 29 was Romance weekend. That was, they do like mass renewal at the church that's up there. October 5th and 6th was Oktoberfest. So if you like, the German stuff and ale and all that fun stuff, they had that weekend. They had Highland weekend on October the 12th and 13th of 2013. And every year, the final weekend of the festival, and they had it this year on October 19th and 20th, back in 2013, was Holiday Marketplace weekend, which is, the last weekend. Yeah, this is the same for all of them, but this is actually like the list of, the shows and like where they are. They have all the festival programs have this in it. This is, of course, still the one from 2013. And incidentally, this lady here's the one that's playing Queen Elizabeth I. She was there last year. I can't say she's going to be there this year, but I'm going to assume for the sake of argument she is. Counting this lady, if I'm remembering correctly, I think there's been like a total of 5 at the festival. 5 different ladies, counting this one here. And I mean, they've changed. In fact, what's funny is one of the ladies that ended up playing Queen Elizabeth I actually started out as the Lord Mayor's wife. That was about 18 years ago in 2000. I started going to the Ohio Renaissance Festival in 1995. So, I've gone every year except 2 years. Because, like, 1 year I just couldn't go because I couldn't get the time off. The other year, it's just things didn't work out and I couldn't go then either because I couldn't get off work both years. I was just like, seriously. But I just, I really enjoy going, and I want to encourage y'all to meet me up there if you can. And, of course, one thing I've also said is, if I could, I would love to get a group of people, of like 40 or 50 people to go in with me, and we do a group ticket thing. Of course, that's never happened. Oh, and I'm playing with a twisty type thing that's sitting here on my table. But back to this. This is actually, it's like if you open it up, there's that. That's upside down now. There's the, map thing, and then if you open it all the way up, it's the actual map of where everything is. This map has pretty much been the same thing for 20 some years. I mean, I've not ever remembered it changing. Like, they might have added stuff or moved stuff around, but this is pretty much, even though this is from, like I said, 2013, this is pretty much identical to what it's been for the last 2 decades. The mud show, for example, the mud show here in the corner, I mean, look here, I can actually tell you. The mud show here used to be right over by the Pirates Horde, way back in the day, back in 1995. And they moved here to where they are now. I'd say probably in 1998, maybe-ish. What's really funny is, and this tells you how long I've been going, they originally started out with 3 different guys at the mud show. The only one that's still there from when I started going there back in 1995 is the old man, the one with the beard that normally plays Grendel, Crispy or Crunchy or whatever his name is. And they've changed guys like 3 different times since him. And he's the only one that's been there like the entire time, like for the last 20 some years. I recommend going to the show, but, and I do have to say this, if you go to the show, do yourself a favor, a giant favor. Excuse me. If you go to the show, do like what Tony and I do. We go sit in the front. We go sit in the front, okay? But we sit along the side. Like, if you ever see some of my videos that I posted when we were at the festival, we sit along the side by the wall. Don't go sit in the middle part, because, if you watch the videos for the mud show, you'll know they will throw the mud out in the audience. They do. So do yourself a favor. Do not, under any circumstances, go sit in the middle unless you're sitting back by the tree, 7 or 8 rows back. Because there's a big tree literally right in the middle of the seating for the mud show. Like, if you're going to sit in the middle, sit by that tree and sit, like, make sure people get in front of you. Because, like I said, they will throw the mud out in the audience. They also run out in the audience. If you go see the Dante's Inferno, they run out in the middle of the audience. It's funny. And the old man that I mentioned earlier, he'll actually mess with people in the audience. My personal favorite, and this happened last year, because I had my Plague Doctor mask on, and I was in full costume last year. He almost ran me over. It was funny. One of the guys, one of the younger guys, I'm there, and he almost literally, this was before the show started, he almost ran me over. He went, whoa! And he cussed. It was funny. But yeah, I mean, these two guys are totally cool. I've got pictures of Tony with one of the guys, with the older fella, and the guy's covered head to foot in mud. Tony's standing there smiling. This year, Tony and I are going to be in costume. Well, like I said, I am. We've got to find Tony a black shirt between now and then for his costume. He's going to be an executioner. So the two of us are going to be a pretty scary looking combination. It's death and death. Pick one. The Black Plague or the executioner. So, it's going to be loads of fun. And don't forget, like I said, next weekend, we're talking 2018. I'm not talking about 2013 again. 2018, this coming weekend, the 8th and 9th is going to be Time Traveler weekend. So if you show up there in costume and you buy your tickets, it's $15.72 if I'm remembering correctly. For each person that shows up in costume. And I almost forgot this part. They are having a costume contest both days, like twice. Like, I guess once in the morning and once in the evening at one of the pubs. Yes, I am going to be participating. I can't speak as in Tony. He might, or I might have him videotape me. We're going to be hard to miss, because we're going to have a navy blue wagon. It's going to be like about that color, blue. We're going to be kind of hard to miss. I'm going to just use this map, since this is, like I said before, this is pretty much, same map, because it's been the same thing for, like, ever. The Tower of London, one thing that they have done with the Tower of London is that the cemetery that used to be, up here by the church, the cemetery that used to be up here by the St. Peter's Church is down here by the tower now. And, so it's like, if you're friends with me on Facebook and you've seen the pictures that I took last year, you might notice that the cemetery moved. That was new last year in 2017. I was like, okay. I'm like, the heck? Why is it here? It looks a lot better by the Tower of London, to be honest. Yeah, because I went up to St. Peter's later and looked, and I was like, oh, it looks a lot better there because they cleaned that up. The cemetery had been there in that spot, I'd say easily 20 some years, and you could tell it had seen better days, to be honest with you. So it looks a lot better there, and they've cleaned that spot up. Um, but yeah. Oh, and there's something I do need to talk about as well. If you buy any weapons there, the weapons have to be peace tied. I have a whip. I may not take it with me just because it's just too much for me to carry. And I've got enough junk on my belt, which reminds me, I'm not going to be that hard to spot, okay? And I want to show you why. I have this that's going to be hanging off of my backside. Yeah, well, one person that I used to know used to freak out over this because these are real foxtails. They're colored. This one is black and blue. This is purple and blue. This is purple and blue. My bag. I need to flip back around. Yeah, I'll be wearing this. I'm going to be extremely hard to miss. This one's a knitted, rainbow-colored one. I'm a very obvious person to see. I am. You can't miss seeing me, children. I'm going to be really, really stinking hard to miss. Wait. Well, I'll fix that later. I just realized that's on backwards. I put that thing on backwards. I got to fix that. Do that right now while I'm sitting here. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to be a real hard one to miss because I'm going to have this on around my waist. Yeah, I have like a really large belt. I'm not that fat, but yeah, this is going to be that. But yeah, I was mainly wanting to talk about this bad boy though. Let's see. I'm going to untangle this too, so this way it doesn't cause like a whole bunch of trouble later. Let's see. Okay, there's that one. Okay. Yeah, they got all tangled up here. Okay. There. But yeah, this is going to be... You're going to see me coming, children. There's that. So, yeah, if you see somebody, with this, it's me. Yes, that's me. I've put it away just because, well, I'm afraid of smacking my own self with it. I also have a fan on a purple and green ribboned cord that's going to be attached to that belt if I can get it to work. So you'll know it's me. It's a black and blue fan on a purple and green ribbon, and the ribbon's the color of my shirt. So it is what it is. Also, I do recommend the jousting, but I do have to warn you about the jousting too. Those are real horses. Those are real poles. Those are real men and women. They actually have a woman jouster. They did last year. And actually, and this is the cool thing, if you watch the History Channel, I can't see if it's still on the TV shows on there still, but one of the guys that jousts at the Ohio Renaissance Festival was an actual coach on a live-action jousting show on the History Channel. And, I mean, this was really cool. Tony and I was watching it on cable a few years back, and we're like, I looked at the guy and I said, wait, I know him. I was like, I know him. I was like, oh my God, yeah. I was like, I know that guy. And then they were talking about the fact that he jousts for the Ohio Renaissance Festival. And the best part about the jousting part, and I think this is wonderful, and I applaud these people for doing this, the horses that they joust with are rescue horses, and they'll tell you that. The horses are rescue horses, and on the one episode that we saw, that Tony and I saw on the History Channel, what happened is this horse probably got nervous or heaven only knows what. Horses in particular are jumpy animals anyway, but the horse accidentally stepped on the guy he was working with's foot, and the guy hit the horse. And the guy that jousts at the Ren Festival up here in Harveysburg actually booted that guy off the show because he hit the horse. I mean, the guy. Like, yes, I may have talked previously about the late judge that I know hitting a horse, but the horse bit him, and that was another matter entirely. This was something 100 years ago. But yeah, he actually, kicked the guy off the show, and they actually showed on the show the actual people jousting, and one of the guys got seriously hurt while they were, competing. I think the guy got a broken nose and lost some of his front teeth. But yeah, the guy, his nose was just gushing blood like somebody had cold cocked him or something. It was like, they tell you, yeah, watch out because you can't. Yes, these are real poles. Yes, they're made of real wood. Yes, they can get hurt. And speaking of those poles, those lances that they use, sometimes they fly into the audience. So that's something else you need to be careful about, and that's what I was getting at, is you have to be very, very careful when you go to the joust because, like the mud show, sometimes it goes out in the audience. I've actually seen it happen a couple of times. Great big swimmers like this long, and probably about that big around, go flying out in the audience. So, you might want to be aware. If you go to the joust, be really careful. Pay attention when they're going at it, because you could end up with a seriously piece of wood in your eye, or in your lap, or in your leg, or in your stomach. You could get hurt. But yeah. I do think it's awesome that they have a girl jouster. I do. I really think that's cool. Yes, I might be a girl, but it's like that's not something I would personally do. But if she's a tough girl and wants to do it, I say, hey, more power to you, girl. I'll watch you. That's my opinion. Is I will watch you beat the piss out of another man. Okay, out of some guy. With a big pole. I won't help you, but I will watch. Okay, that's how I am. Just because I can't see myself doing that. It's just like, that's one sport that I will gladly sit around and watch. One thing that they have at the festival, I've tasted it with Tony because he got one, is turkey legs, and I am not joking. These turkey legs are like this big around. They're huge, and they're like that long, and it's like the big end is like, I'd say it has to be a good 6 to 10 inches around at the top. And, these things are meaty, and they're huge. I just wanted like a little bit of his turkey leg, and the things are juicier than you can imagine. They're just like, you're like, and they're dripping. So, if you hit us up there and you want to get a turkey leg, I would recommend you get yourself some baby wipes and, like stuff, and be ready to, and a lot of napkins, because you're going to have to, you're going to be like, oh my God, be glad you're eating this outside, because, like, seriously, because you're going to be dripping all over the place. I checked the weather earlier, and I hope the weather changes to be nicer this coming weekend. They're predicting some like mild thunderstorms this weekend. I hope it stays dry the entire weekend, to be honest with you, because at the festival, if it rains up there, it is a mud. It's a big mud hole up there. That's something else you need to keep in mind. Take an umbrella too, just in case. And one thing, and I did mention it in a previous video. The fact that I had it. It's like, which way is up on this thing? This is my actual cloak. It's one side's purple velvet, the other's green, like silk. Just wrap myself up in this. Looks nice. Of course, Tony's not holding the phone right now. He's in the middle of something other than being handsome. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to be wearing it this weekend because it's like going to be 80, 90 some degrees out. No, no thanks. I'm not going to be cooking it with Crisco this weekend. Um, but yeah, this year, I think, if I remember reading right, they're going to have the Kamikaze Fireflies again over by the Mud Show. They actually were on, I think, America's Got Talent. They're really good, and yes, they do use fire. So, they are. I've watched part of their show. Didn't watch all the show, but they're really fun to watch. So, and another thing that they've got there, and they've had this there, I'd say, for the last 20 some years, and Tony and I both absolutely love it, is the bread bowl thing. It's a pain in the butt to get there, and it's, if you look, this is that where it is on the map. It's when you walk in, it's like, here's the entrance. Hold this up where you can see it. And then the bread bowls is like you turn right and walk that way. It's like, I'd say it's maybe about 5 or 10 minutes in to the right, on the right hand side. They have pub crawl this year. It's, I think, like $20 a person. They also have, and they've had this for like the last 4 years, I think, or 5, padded seating that you can sit at for the joust. I think that's like $5, $10. You get a drink and a pennant and sit on a padded seat in the shade by the queen, which is a good thing if you're into that. But yeah, it's a good time. I will have my digital camera with me. And yes, I have my cell phone on me because, like I said before, if you need to get a hold of me, text me, because for some reason, and heaven only knows why, but we don't have a very good signal up there on our cell phones. Sprint only lets us have a really solid signal up by the gate, the entrance gate. Unless, of course, they've changed that this year and thrown up another tower up there, which I wish they would. So if anybody from Sprint's working, do me a giant favor. Go throw up another tower up there in Harvicksburg, please. Okay? I would appreciate it, as would Tony, because I tell you what, if we could get one like in the back behind the Ohio Renaissance Festival, oh, that would be like 5 kinds of awesome, because then we get phone call out. But anyway, if you go up there, and if you're anything like me, I beat the life out of my cell phone. Okay? I go through all my backup batteries pretty quickly. And I'm like, seriously. So, take a lot of, get some backup batteries for yourself. Make sure they're all the way charged up, and then, be prepared to use them. So, I know I said I was going to, something quick, as the title of this video. Not quick, I've been yapping for almost a half an hour. But I just had a lot of stuff to say. Anyway, like I said in the other videos, and I know I mentioned earlier in this one, if you want to see us up there, text us, and let us know, hey, we want to see you. Now, I do, and as I've said before, and I've said it in this video a few times, and I know I mentioned it in the other videos, Tony and I are going to be in costume, okay? So you'd better be ready to see 2 people dressed up, okay? Because, believe me, homie don't play that, and we're definitely getting in for $15.72 a piece. And yes, I will be competing. I recently, and this is something else, speaking of my costume, and I wanted to mention this, Tony and I, back in March of this year, went to Lexington to their Comic-Con, which I absolutely love. We met Judith Hogue, who, and I have to say something very nice about her here. She is a very lovely lady. And Judith, if you're watching, hey, it was great to meet you. I loved meeting you. You are just an amazing person. Super nice lady. It was funny. I was in costume. I'd taken my plague doctor mask off because I was getting hot. Okay, it gets hot in there. Because we were in Rupp Arena down there in Lexington, and I was sweating nails. I was like, oh, I have to take this thing off. Before I burn my face off. I was like, I've got to get this thing off my face just to cool down. But she looks at me and says, okay, you're in costume, points at Tony and says, dude, really? Why are you not in costume? I'm like, he's like, I didn't get a chance to get one together in time, which he didn't, which is the truth. She's the first anybody that's actually called me a cosplayer. So, I mean, that's cool. I've been working that way to doing something like that. So, I only dress up for stuff like that. And it's a lot of fun for me to do. Because, let's face it, my favorite holiday is coming up at the end of next month. It's Halloween. So, it is what it is. But, it's worth going. But anyway, I just want to remind everybody, come see us at the Ohio Renaissance Festival next month. And, we look forward to seeing you there. Bye.